Multihog here. I'm sitting in the cab of the MX120 and I'm going to run you through a bit of a quick start guide on how to operate the machine. So just for getting up and running, operating in work mode that you'd use for attachments as well. Now, the first thing, before setting off, always want to make sure you're comfortable in the seat. So the MX has an air ride seat, so making sure your pressure is set up right, making sure your seating position is good, and also you can angle your steering column here, so getting the angle set up there so you're comfortable. Now, first off, driving the machine in auto mode. You'll see on the dash there you have auto written in green. The machine starts up in auto mode, and that's really simple to operate. You can drive the machine using the accelerator, your far right pedal. The brake is the next one in, if you need to stand in the brakes in case of an emergency. On the left side of the steering column I have my directional lever. Forward, pull it up and push it forward for forward. Pull it up and push it back for reverse. So really simple. On the keypad then, I have my high speed and low speed setting here, which is the top middle keypad button and the symbol of the rabbit. So if I want to be in high speed, I just press that, the lights up, and that would give me the full 0 to 40 kilometers an hour speed range, or 0 to 25 miles per hour. If I was off-road and wanted a little bit more torque, I can turn back to low speed and I'll have less top speed, but I'll have more torque or pushing power. So the machine's hydrostatic drive, so you change your speed when you're stationary. And you'll also notice that when you lift off the pedal with the hydrostatic drive, the machine will slow down under the hydrostatics. So just to show you, I'll switch to high speed here on the keypad. Move my directional lever over on the left into the forward position. Press my accelerator. The machine drives forward. You'll notice as well, the articulation makes the machine very maneuverable. And also, the visibility is really good from inside the cab. So that's it for driving in auto mode. Very simple, very straightforward. There's not much else to it. In work mode then, that's what you use for actually running your attachments. So you'll see on the dash there's actually 3 different modes: auto, manual, and work mode. Now, manual is not used, so you'd want to just stay out of that. And to switch to work mode, you hold the top left auto button on the keypad down. So you hold it down until it switches to work mode. If you press it once quickly, it switches to manual. So to get to work mode, just hold it down. When I'm in work mode, I can control my engine RPM using the orange lever here, independent of what speed I'm traveling at. So the idea is that I can give constant engine RPM to deliver constant power to the implement, and then I can control my speed either on the pedal, the accelerator pedal on the floor, or I can use this potentiometer here to set a cruise speed or a creep speed. That's a really nice feature for the likes of snow blowing or asphalt milling. If I'm using that potentiometer, I can use the inching pedal over on the left then to actually slow myself down, to back off the hydrostatic drive. And if I let off the inching pedal, it will then just resume the cruise speed that I've set. So let's say I have an attachment on the front. I don't at the moment, but if I did and I wanted to turn that on, the first thing I would do is I would go to my PTO menu on the dash, that's the right hand button, and make sure my flow is set correctly for the attachment. Then what I would do is I would give the machine just a little bit of engine RPM so it's above idle, and then I could switch on my PTO using the safety switches here, one for the front and one for the rear, and they have a tab that you have to pull back and then press down on. Okay? Now, I've no attachment, so don't worry about the PTO switches for the moment. So, for driving the machine then, in work mode, firstly you want to make sure that your cruise speed or your potentiometer is set to 0 before going from neutral to drive or reverse. Okay? If you don't, there's a safety that if you go to forward when this is set halfway, it'll cut the drive so the machine doesn't take off. So, making sure that's in the 0 position. Going to forward, I can give myself some engine RPM. If I had the attachment on, I'd usually be going up to around 2000 RPM after I switch my PTO on. And then quite simple to drive. I can either just control my speed on the pedal. You see my engine RPM stays constant, or I can set this creep speed here, leave that and the machine will just creep along. For slow going, that's excellent. And if I need to slow down to navigate around an obstacle, I just slowly press my inching pedal, which is over here on the left, and you'll see that the machine backs off the hydrostatic drive. And when I let it off again, it just resumes that creep speed. And if I want to go faster, I just increase it. It stays constant. So really, really nice feature on the machine. Okay, so that's auto mode and work mode. Now, very quickly, I'll just run you through the joystick. So, the joystick for controlling the hitch, forward and back, controls the height of the hitch. If I want to angle the hitch, I just got to hold the top left button 1 down on the joystick, and then if I move it left and right, I'll control the angle. So to the right, angles it forward, and to the left, angles it back. So I'm holding that button 1 or leftmost button on the joystick while I'm moving it left and right. Very, very straightforward. And then left and right, I have my thumb toggle here, and they control the double actings. Then I have a combination of these buttons here, and left and right control more of the double acting functions as well, which makes it a really, really versatile machine. So I'm just going to back up here. Now, a couple of other buttons just to point out here in the keypad, important for driving. If you're in wet conditions off-road or in snow, you've got your first stage differential. That will stay on, and then you can drive in low speed with that. If you're stuck, you have your second stage differential. So to use that, you first switch on your first stage differential, and then I hold down the second stage. That will give me like a full hydrostatic block to pull me out if I'm stuck in a bad situation. It's momentary, so when I let that off, it switches off straight away. Also, then you've got your lights here. If I want work lights, I can press that button, and then I've got my LED flashers as well. That's really it for getting to grips with the machine and the basics. Very, very simple to operate. So hope you enjoyed that video. Thanks very much.